Good evening. My name is Al Hedstrom from Multiple District 19, and tonight we have Dr. Nancy Mesmer with us. She's going to be talking about the various environmental projects that we have going on around our multiple, and we have a lot of them. So I'd like to turn it over to Nancy. Nancy, take it over, carry it away.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, today is Earth Day, and one of the kind of cool fun facts about Earth Day is that the founder of Earth Day went to school in Camas, Washington, and was a local boy from there and started 55 years ago, started Earth Day, which has turned into the earthday.org website with wonderful projects organized and good activism around the issues of Earth Day. So today, um, we're going to do a kind of speed tour through what our Lions in Multiple District 19, which is Washington and British Columbia and Northern Idaho, the kinds of projects that we do. And this is going to be like a speed tour. So look closely as we go. And as I press my button, I'm not getting forward. Okay, I got it figured out. There we go. All right, this is one of our 8 goals in Lions Club. Sustainably protect and restore our environment, um, to improve the well-being of all communities. And I'm going to stop for a sec. Al, do our pictures stay here in the corner or can they go away?
They stay there in the corner.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll just make them down here. That sounds good. All righty. Oh, it can't be in that corner because it covers up the arrows. There we go. It can be in this corner. All righty. All right. So why is environment one of the 8 global causes for lions? This is it. There's only one planet. We all live on it together, and we want to pass it on to our children intact with with clean air and clean water and an ocean to swim in without plastic. So we are all connected. And when you get a chance, I would like you to go on to Lions Clubs International and watch this video about beach cleanups. But we're not going to watch it today. We're going to zoom right past it with the concept in mind that the ocean is what connects us all. So because we're all connected, some of these environmental service projects that happen in MD-19 are replicable by Lions around the world. So back in 2011, I was at the international conference in Seattle when President Tam challenged the Lions to plant 1 million trees. And that seemed like a nearly impossible goal. And yet, Lions around the world planted 3.4 million trees. And President Ingvar planted trees in Iceland. Whole hillsides of people were planting trees. And President Hill, in that last year, um, planted it seemed like she planted trees at every single stop. So we do plant trees. This is Leo's planting trees to stabilize a hillside, and Leo's and Lions planting trees together. It's a thing we do a lot of, and we try to maintain the trees. This is a project every lion does. We collect and redistribute and reuse eyeglasses and hearing aids. And this means that every lion is recycling. And we also recycle a lot of other things, glass and aluminum and metal and paper. Camas recycles styrofoam whenever they have a person they can take it to. And we also repurpose and rebuild items. The Aberdeen Lions work with the Correction Center and Salvation Army to collect hundreds of bikes. They refurbish them and check them out to kids. And our old friend Angus Benedict could take any bunch of old junk and turn it into new usable items. And we collect and we reuse items in our community. Lions are the champions of rummage sales and thrift stores and winter coat drives and flea markets. Sassy Lion is a cool place to drop into if you are in Duncan, BC. And we collect and repair and distribute durable medical equipment like wheelchairs and walkers. And this is a great thing because instead of just shunting those to a landfill, they get cleaned up and loaned out again and again. And a big project among Lions is recycling sheet plastic. This is a project that is done a lot throughout Washington and Idaho. And it takes the sheet plastic that usually goes straight to the landfill and goes through a company named Trex and is made into benches. And Lions restore civic buildings and monuments like a Lions Club and the Finholm View Climb in Gig Harbor and the Highway Viewpoint in Creston. Ways that people can get out in nature and enjoy it, and that we're not throwing something away. Also, we create access to natural areas like this Peachland dock that is handicap accessible so people can get out on the lake. Or in Cosmopolis, they built ADA accessible benches along a river pathway. And this is a big project for lots of Lions. Sustainable food production. School community gardens are one of the cooler things that we can do in all of our communities with elementary school kids or middle school kids or high school kids. In Priest River, Idaho, it involved all the parts of the Lions family building a community garden and growing vegetables and distributing it. And in my club in Clallam Bay, we built and maintain an orchard. And then we also do food redistribution efforts. This is something that got really charged up during the COVID times, where we gather food from farms to towns and we run food banks or we partner with food banks. And another food redistribution effort in Port Coquitlam, Lions collect all the unsold items from Costco each week and they take it to people's pantry. And then there's a whole process for getting the food out to people that need it. We install and maintain gardens, all kinds of gardens, rain gardens and sensory gardens. We're just about to be creating as MD-19. We're going to create a sensory garden up at our collective garden. Um, Tree chipping is a big project, especially among the Canadian Lions, to pull in all the Christmas trees, chip them up, turn them into mulch, and then share the mulch. We also build and support camps for kids. This is a project throughout our multiple district in Canada and Washington and Idaho. Gets the kids outside, and usually the Lions are one of the partners or the sole partner that maintains and runs the camps. We also promote climate solutions with households and families, as in Tenino Park, where people are getting an Earth Day lesson, and the Cafe New Century Lions Club for 2 years put out monthly environmental awareness tips. It's a really neat project, and Lions could do that any place. We host art and music and walking events in natural areas, like a first day walk along a trail. Noon, people show up, go for a nice walk to start the new year. We partner in my club with the state parks and also plein air painting, a way to get artists outside to pick a spot and make a painting and then share them. And then more and more kinds of projects. One set of Lions maintains a cemetery. Lady Smith Lions sponsor a mammoth sunflower growing contest. Really fun. Some Lions clubs build little libraries in neighborhoods and maintain them. All kinds of neat projects. As well, we build and maintain parks. We do little roadside parks. We help purchase and restore playground equipment, like up in Sydney. There are Lions clubs, and Lions create parks, Lions parks. Sometimes they maintain them by themselves, sometimes they work with their city to do so. And in Spokane, as their centennial project, the Spokane Central Lions created a Helen Keller garden celebrating the silver linden tree that Helen Keller planted there in 1925 and which is still growing. Cool project. So we Lions, we clean up everything. We are big on civic cleanups. And these are Lions that clean up train station, library, participants in Vancouver Chinatown annual cleanup, um, post office. We we do a whole lot of this one, highway and roadway cleanups. Lions all over Washington and Idaho partner with their state departments of transportation to do highway cleanups. And watershed restoration is a really great project we could do more of, removing invasive species and planting native plants. Like Gabrielle Island does this really hard job of broom busting, removing Scotch broom. And we do a lot of cleanups in all kinds of natural areas, urban shoreline cleanups, trail cleanups, waterways, parks, trails, beaches. And this is a wonderful kind of project to do that involves sustained commitment over time to clean and maintain an area. And we call these adopt a beach, adopt a stream, adopt a park. And we usually have partners within municipalities or counties or states to do this kind of thing. So there we are, cleaning beaches and shorelines and waterways in the middle of cities, out in the country, in the suburbs. Um, we sometimes can make beach cleanups even more impactful by collecting all the stuff that's found on the beach, dumping it out, sorting it out, counting it, and submitting it to worldwide organizations that host interactive live maps. And you can see who's cleaning what and where and what is being found. What it leads to, the beach cleanups often, is it leads to our awareness that plastic pollution is a huge problem. And something like this image of this dead young albatross just is an illustration. This is a diving bird. All the plastics in the ocean look like food from the sky. The bird dives down, eats too much of it, and dies. And this is our big problem. This is an image of me climbing to the top of a towering dumpster filled with styrofoam. And it's kind of emblematic of the kind of thing that we do when we collect the debris. But then we are asking ourselves, where do we go with this debris? And why is this on an ocean beach? What can we do about it? The countries of the world got together 2 years ago through the UN Environment Program to have a plan to make a binding plastic treaty and create a circular economy. They stymied and they're adding a year to the process. But this is one of the things that we Lions can do is find out about it. Go read this project, kind of think about what is it we can do about plastic that we are now finding in our water, in our hearts and lungs, and brains. What can we do about too much plastic? So the the gist of all of this is what can we do personally? What can we do organizationally, especially with other Lions and lots of partners? And what global actions can we be part of? This is all up to us. Okay. Thanks for listening to this really fast survey of Lions projects. And I think now Environment Chair for District N, Barack Gale, is going to share some ideas.
Thank you so much, Nancy. I really appreciate your focus on on plastic pollution in particular. I recently saw a, a really heart-wrenching episode about plastic pollution and the Laysan albatross. You mentioned the
Mhm.
albatross on an unbelievably remote island in the very middle of the Pacific, hundreds of miles northwest of Hawaii, and these parent albatross feed their young for a period of time, and they feed them plastic unintentionally.
Yes,
It's just heartbreaking.
it is.
And But thankfully, the one they filmed actually it looked like was able to spit it out and survived.
Oh, cool.
So I want to share greetings to everybody, and uh, and say again, reiterate that today is Earth Day, which happens to be my birthday, and
Oh, I forgot. Happy birthday.
and and I want to just mention that Earth Day is a day that started 54 years ago in 1970 with a powerful message that protecting the natural world is not separate from caring for people, but deeply connected. That first Earth Day in 1970 was a grassroots uprising, and it was led by students and ordinary citizens demanding clean air, clean water, and a livable future. And it worked. It helped launch the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, and the establishment of the Environmental Protection Agency. And this month, I've had the privilege of presenting to about 400 students in the last few weeks, middle school and high school students in science classrooms across the area. And today on Earth Day, I spent time with sixth graders. And let me tell you, these kids get it. They understand the science, they express themselves with clarity and depth, and they feel what's at stake. It's incredibly moving to me, but also bittersweet. These students are growing up with far less environmental security than my generation or our generation did. And yet they show up with curiosity, with courage, and with compassion. So my hope is that we as Lions can take inspiration from both the first Earth Day and from these young people today, protecting this one planet, our only home. It's not a side issue. It's core to service. One atmosphere, one water cycle, one shared future. And it really deserves to stand alongside our other commendable projects. So thanks for giving me a few minutes, Nancy and Al, to share. And thank you to everyone for all the wonderful service that you do.
Thank you, Barack. If we could circle back to Midway Island, uh, I didn't know you guys were going to be talking about this, but when I was in the Navy, I was stationed there from
Oh,
1977 to 1978, and the wildlife biologists that were stationed there with us were documenting this exact problem. That there were a number of hatchlings that never got their first flight because of this problem, ingestion of plastics, and it killed off, and it continues to this day. I follow the same group on Facebook, and the problem continues to this day. It's not near solving. Um, Gee, we got to do something about it. And of course, the albatross are not the only ones that are suffering from these things.
what
So,
year was that, Al?
77 to 78.
Oh boy, so
I'm
that has
that
really
old.
been a long time, hasn't it, that that
I'm that
problem has
old, you
happened?
bet. Yeah.
Wow, scary.
It is. It really is. You know, because most of the birds out there, if not all the birds out there, are seabirds. And of course, they're running into the same problem. The large and the small seabirds are running into the same problem. We got albatrosses out there. We got boobies. We got Arctic terns, a number of different birds, and they all have the same problem. And
Al, what year was that you started hearing about the plastics being a problem with the albatross out there?
when I was stationed out there in '77,
Wow,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
And even back then.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And the albatross is one of the largest, if not the largest, seabird out there. And it's got a wingspan in excess of 6 feet. Their wings are huge, and they spend most of their life in the air, uh, searching the water for fish. And they come back to shore once every 7 years, so that they can mate and hatch chicks,
Mm.
and then they go out for another 7 years. The oldest one that they've been able to document is a Laysan albatross that they've named Wisdom, and she has been out there for 70 years. And
Really? Wow.
yes, they live a long time. It's amazing. It really is. But we're getting off on
And well, I think there's a point here though that, these creatures, these wild creatures can be such an inspiration to people.
yeah,
And the albatross for centuries, have been an inspiration to sailors. Way out at sea, these albatross would seemingly, fly effortlessly in the deep blue,
yeah,
and there was a mystique about them that they even carried, the souls of departed sailors.
yeah.
And if you you know if you harmed an albatross, well, maybe you heard of the rhyme of the ancient mariner, um, but low to those who harm an albatross. And the author of that poem, um, wore and was forced to wear a dead albatross around his neck
Right.
as penance.
Yeah, yeah. The rhyme of the ancient mariner. Yeah. Water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I remember that from high school. Oh, geez, I'm old.
Hey, thank you for having this conversation. And it is fun to celebrate Earth Day
It
and
is.
it's very nice to spend time with you two gentlemen, one being a birthday guy. But I'm not, and it's
we won't get into what year it is.
well, it is really nice to have been working since 1970 on issues of the planet. And we all know the markers are getting worse and worse. And you just spent some time with middle schoolers today. And, we mark that in all sorts of ways. I have a great granddaughter now. And I just think about, is she going to be able to go to the beach here at my house and dive in and come up without plastic in her lungs or something like that? Is she going to
Yeah,
have fresh air and clean water and
yeah.
but I
Well, I
think
think I think Nancy, that Earth Day serves as an encouraging reminder that society can rise up and
mhm,
take a stand, a strong, a powerful stand,
yep.
that has measurable consequences to
Hmm.
it,
And
favorable
there's much to be
consequences to
done
it.
right now.
Yep.
That slide about that we do have things we can do in our personal life and our Lions life and all the organizational. I just finished this 7 week graduate level course called Beyond Plastics with 157 people from around the country studying what we can do collectively to do something about the plastic so that we don't drown in the plastic. And then what can we do globally? So globally, we definitely need to pass the plastic treaty and all the other things we could come up with. So,
And then one other thing, if I could put in a plug, is to use recycled toilet paper, because the production of toilet paper is driving the massive deforestation of our precious boreal forests that are the most intact forests on Earth. and they're the lungs of the land, as we know. And um, so there's options here. We can use
Mhm.
recycled toilet paper.
I think that that's one of the reminders that if we continuously share information, we'll all be the richer for it, and we'll be able to change things in our personal life and our community life and globally.
Yep.
So
Here.
let's say this is good and happy Earth Day.
Nice talking to you both.
And I just want to celebrate this wonderful set of training classes. I think it's great.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, I want to thank both of you for taking the time to work up this presentation and assemble this information. It's great information, and you're absolutely right. We need to do more effort, make more effort to spread the word, and get our fellow Lions moving on these.
Yeah.
So thank you both.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to stop the recording now.